Hi, welcome back to Bart's Drum Cave. Today we're going to start working on some independence exercises. The design of these exercises is so that you can start using all four limbs independently from one another. The idea behind this is that you want to be able to throw anything into the music you're playing without throwing everything else off. So if you're playing a beat and you feel like, hey, you know what, a note over here with the hi-hat foot would sound really cool, but I'm afraid to do it because if I do that, it might throw the rest of my groove off. That's why we do this. We want you to be able to throw anything into any rhythm you're playing without messing up the whole system. Okay, so we're going to start with a ride pattern. Now this looks like a big old mess right now, but it'll start to make sense in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a very simple ride pattern. We're going to be playing quarter notes on the ride cymbal and then the eighth notes in between with the hi-hat foot. It will sound like this. Okay, so that's easy enough. We're going to go ahead and throw in a bass drum and snare drum on the 2 and 4, just so you can get an idea of how it sounds with some rhythm behind it. Okay, that's easy enough. By now you should be able to play a ride pattern like that fairly easily. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start playing some paradiddles underneath that rhythm. But the paradiddles, instead of between our hands, is going to be between our right foot and our left hand. Bass drum, snare drum. So if you look at this pattern right here, I've written the rhythm out in notation here. You can see the pattern. Bass drum, snare drum, so that's a paradiddle. And now I've written circled the R's, and normally that would be your right hand, and here's the paradiddle rhythm. You can see it right here. So right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So you understand how that works. So if you play it between the bass drum and the snare drum, it sounds like this. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to play that pattern while we're keeping that ride pattern going at the same time. Seems kind of easy at first, but once you try it, you'll notice that some notes are falling where they don't normally feel comfortable, but over time you'll be able to work this out. So what I want you to do is add that paradiddle pattern underneath the ride, and it will sound like this. All right, that should give you something to work on, but that's probably not enough to keep you busy until next time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start messing around with where the diddle falls. Now I call the diddle where those two strokes fall, the double stroke. So here, 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 and here. That's what we call the diddle. If you think paradiddle, that's where that falls. Okay, so if you're familiar with stick control book, on the very first page of exercises, exercises, I believe they're 5, 6, 7, and 8. Stone plays around with the paradiddle by moving the paradiddle within the beat. That's what we're doing here. So we start with a normal paradiddle. On the second exercise, the paradiddle moves back one beat. So instead of right, left, right, it's right, left, right, just like this. So we're going to play that under here, and that will sound like this. so now we've moved the paradiddle back one beat. We're working on that. Again, it'll feel a little strange at first, but the more you do it through repetition, it'll become easier and easier. Next, we're going to move the diddle back to the very beginning. So you can see it right here. So it actually starts the figure. So if we move that diddle back to the very beginning, it sounds like this. Okay, one more to go. Now what we're doing is, if you look at exercise 8, I believe it is, in stick control, the diddle is actually between the figures. So right here, right here, right here, and then it would be between this one and this one at the end of the figure. So if you're not looking carefully, you might not notice it's there. But we're going to go ahead and move that diddle so it falls on, if you're counting in 16ths, the and 1. This is how it sounds on the drum set. Okay, that should give you something to work on, but what we're going to do next is we're going to play some time with that ride pattern, and then we're going to go from one to the other, and we're going to play all 4 of these in succession with some time in between. So first we're going to do it nice and slow, from 1, 2, 3, and 4 exercises, one after the other with some time. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up the pace a little bit and try it just a little bit faster. It sounds like this. Okay, and if that's too easy for you, we'll bump it up another notch and it'll sound like this. Okay, hopefully that's enough to keep you busy for a little while. If not, well, if you've already mastered it, then we'll move on to the next one where we're going to introduce some 16th notes into the equation. So we'll talk to you next time. Thanks again for coming to Bart's Drum Cave.